design thinking around elements of community start with, let's even say that starts with the senses, the actual senses. So when you close your eyes, you think about where you grew up, or I grew up in Beacon Hill neighborhood of Seattle, Washington, of all places. What I think about the neighborhood and the community there is going to be completely different than what you think about with your neighborhood community, right? With a lot of Asians, neighbors, very diverse community. My immediate neighbor used to dry seaweed on strings in the back of his yard. The smell of Asian food was something that I remember distinctly. Listening to calypso music that my dad would always play on the record player because of his Jamaican heritage. Walking to the grocery store, listening to some of the R&B and the soul music of the era in the 60s and the early 70s. Those were the kinds of things that we want people to think about when it comes to what kind of community do you remember? What's important to you? The smells of it. Do you have a bakery? Was there some element of the neighborhood? Did it stink? Or was it warm and inviting? Was there a church that you would hear singing on the Sundays? Was there a place that people congregated? What matters to people when it comes to community, when it comes to designing community? So one element of the design thinking process for community building is, what's a community? Who do we talk to find that out? The best way we feel is to get out from behind a computer, get into the neighborhood, and start asking questions of people who've lived there and who grew up there. And then you have a sense of the first element of design thinking when it comes to designing architecture, designing structures, the kind of design that we'll be using for the design contests going forward, whether it's here in Baltimore and Los Angeles in 2028 for the Olympics.